Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome back to a game that I was playing quite some time ago, Cinderella Phenomenon. Now, I know it's been quite a while since I last played this, and I do apologize for that, but I got very frustrated because I did a couple more recordings of it, something happened, that they glitched, they were all borked up, I could not use them at all. And I just got frustrated and had to take a break from this. But I do honestly miss playing Cinderella Phenomenon. And I made a poll on Twitter a while ago, actually, asking you guys if you would like me to continue it. And I was actually pleasantly surprised that a couple of you voted yes, and that yes won. And you guys also voted for me to finish Rumple's route, and then to complete all of the others, but the one you guys wanted me to do most next is Karma's. So yeah, we are here and we are ready to go. And hopefully everything doesn't break on us horribly. Let's see. This is where I saved last, I do believe. Or at least that you guys saw, because if you come here, yeah, I recorded the 3 more videos, and it all broke. And admittedly, I wanted to cry. But this is where we pick up again after a dream that Rhea had had. Which, here, let's see if we can go back and recap. Ah, yes. Chapter 4, A Compliment's Value. Also, I think what I'm going to start doing is, instead of breaking these videos up as much as I had, I'm going to try to do 1 chapter per video. Which means that the videos will most likely be longer, but I think it'll all, flow more smoothly. You know? Kind of like how I did one day, a day per video for Doki Doki Literature Club, so yeah. Mother, you waited, but the children didn't come, did they? They promised they'd be back today. We even crossed pinkies. Promises are futile, dearest heart. But I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. People are selfish creatures. They will always put their own well-being before others. No one does anything selflessly. To put your trust in someone is weakness, Rhea. Even those that make promises will only keep them if it benefits them, and you, my sweet, were obviously not beneficial to those children. So they didn't like playing with me? No, they did not. You're a terrible mother. Come here, darling. You do not need those children. The 2 of us can play together as we always do. I can always trust you, Mother? Of course, my love. Yeah, trust you to make us real fucked up in the head. Anyways, that was the dream we had. Now we're into chapter 4 and we're gonna continue this. My head feels foggy. Maybe it was because it took me forever to fall asleep yesterday. And then, to make things worse, I ended up having that dream. Mother, you're the only one I can trust. Right? I slowly slide out of my bed and make my way over to my dresser. The little bag is still where I left it last night. I open it up and let the little white chocolate lily fall into my hand. Oh yeah, that's right, Rumple gave us a little white chocolate lily. Is he really trying to help me? I remember his face yesterday, and his bright smile as he presented this to me. I slowly run my fingers across the delicate white petals. He couldn't have known lilies were my favorite flower. There's no reason to be sentimental about something like this, it's just silly. I'm about to put the flower back in the bag, but I stop, eyeing it once more. Slowly, I bring it to my lips and bite off a small petal. It's actually pretty good. I stuff the little flower back into the bag and make my way downstairs. Making my way downstairs, walking fast. The Martian is not busy this early in the morning, but everyone is starting on their chores. At least, I assume as much when I see a nice and then Walt, who's helping her stack things. Then I hear rousing voices and realize that not all is calm. Oh boy. At least I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not. You say you're not pretending when you go around flirting with all of the female patrons day in and day out? You cannot seriously mean all of the drivel you spout. Karma and Rumple stand on opposite sides of a table, staring each other down. A teacup filled with what looks like to be cold tea sits close to Karma, abandoned. Flirting with a lady is not a crime. One day your flirting is going to get you into even more trouble than it already has. I've never had a lady said I mistreated her, not once. Oh, I'm sure many could attest to being more than slightly annoyed. You're only jealous that I can speak to ladies without a disguise, aren't you? Oh shit. Karma slams his hand down on the table, shaking it. The tavern grows quiet. Waltz looks over, his eyebrows furrowed with worry. If you so much as make one more comment about my curse, then stop making comments about how I speak. The two continue to glare at each other. It almost looks as if Karma might circle the table and slap him, but the fight freezes as Jurian strides up to the two men. It's too early for the two of you to already beat each other's throats. But he started it! All I did was make a comment. He was the one to pick to fight. There you go again, twisting words. Jurian stomps on the ground. The two men once again turn to look at her. It's my job to break up unnecessary fights, and I will do it. If you two must continue fighting, go do it somewhere else, like the forest, where you can't disturb anyone. Thank you, Jurian. Both men turn away from each other, obviously agitated. Rumple's expression is cloudy as he makes his way over to the bar to begin helping set the tables. Jurian notices me watching. She waves at me with a terse smile on her face. Sorry I had to wake up to that, Princess. I shrug as I make my way over to Mr. Broom. I forgot about Mr. Broom! Oh, I missed Mr. Broom! It's like waking up to two children arguing. Agreed wholeheartedly. Jurian sighs before looking at me thoughtfully. Gosh, why am I yawning? Maybe you could have a word with Rumple later. I have no idea how their argument even started, but maybe you can get to the bottom of it. I'm not a babysitter. But I'd heard the two of you were partners. Anyway, hopefully this doesn't happen again. Good luck with your work today, Princess. Jurian walks off, vigilant as always. Constant vigilance! I notice Garland looking at her from the bar, a slight frown on his face. I start working around the tavern, starting first with the cleaning and then with the stacking. Delora makes snide remarks about my slowness as I work, and I try my best to ignore her while occasionally throwing her insults back at her. It's as if she has nothing better to do. Oh, Parfait! The door to the tavern opens, and Parfait steps inside with a bright smile. She looks more energetic than usual. I wonder if this is because of Rumple's medicine suggestions. Later, I manage to catch Rumple when the two of us are both on break. He looks pleased to see me until I mention Karma. Why were the two of you fighting earlier? What a sad day it is that the princess talks about another man to my face. Just answer me. I was getting ready for the events of today, as always, speaking to the lovely woman who filter in and out of this place. When the beast appeared behind me. Rumple. Even his insults are dramatic. Your flirting is distracting me, he proclaimed. Well, your flirting is annoying. But all I'm doing is complimenting women. I'm not impeding anyone's work. Impeding. I can read. I thought that the only reason he was calling me out on such a thing was because he was actually jealous. You should have seen his scowl. And here we go. So I politely told him to mind his business, but he was relentless, and when he continued to insult my demeanor, well, I had to say something back. But I wasn't the one to start the fight. I swear they both really do sound like children. No doubt, Karma would be blaming Rumple. Princess, you don't really think I'm so confrontational, do you? I think Karma's far more confrontational than Rumple, but it does not help that Rumple always snaps back at him. The two of you are both at fault. But Princess! In the end, you are still having a childish argument. I think that Rumple might try to protest again, and am surprised when he shrugs his shoulders and sighs. Yes, it was childish, because that man is a child. I roll my eyes. God damn it, Rumple. Your irritated scowl chills my heart, Princess. I feel a tinge of excitement. Rumple, stop. Why? I'm leaving now. There is really no point in having this conversation. It's a problem between Karma and Rumple. They aren't children. They can figure this out on their own. Oh, Princess of my heart, why must you depart so early? I ignore Rumple and leave him standing where he is as I return to my shift a little early. Well, bye! Honestly, I would much rather focus on work than Rumple. He can be just as tiring, if not more. Though, after what happened last night, I do not think he is as terrible as I thought. Aw, you're starting to like Rumple. The days go on, and Rumple and I speak only briefly during our breaks. Every day I eat another piece of the lily until only one is remaining. One afternoon, just before my break, Rumple approaches me with a mischievous smile on his face. Oh no. My lovely princess, how are you today? What do you want? Your cold shoulder is enticing. I have one more table to serve. Do not bother me. But princess, I've decided I know exactly how to teach you to be good. All of your other lessons have been useless so far. Please, just trust me. To put my trust in someone is weakness. I'm going to teach you how to flirt. Oh no, Rumple. What? The first step to flirting is eye contact, princess. Wait, but why are you... Rumple points at my customer, a young man sitting right beside the window. The second is to smile. Smile, princess, because I'm sure you look even more stunning when you do. Then you start a conversation with him. Body language is important. There are certain signals that key men into the fact that a woman is interested in him. In them. I think playing with your hair is one. A gentle tap on the shoulder is another. I should have expected Rumple to spout this sort of nonsense. Princess, the customer has been waiting for a while now. Is something wrong? I noticed the customer looking at me expectantly. He's just some man, a usual customer that I actually see often. Oh, and Princess, don't forget the compliments. Make them as delicate and illustrative as you can. I move away from Rumple before I can muddle my thoughts any further. Already my feet feel like lead. I find myself staring at the man for far too long. The way he stares back at me, his expression so unreadable, suddenly makes me feel more uncomfortable. Do I really have to do what Rumple says? I stop in front of the man and set down his tray, my eyes still on his. I do not have to follow Rumple's advice, but for some reason, my lips quirk. The smile on my lips, though, lasts all of a half a second. Are you okay? To flirt or not to flirt. I am not good at the flirting. Not intentionally. Tired, why? Go away, I got enough sleep for once. Shockingly. I know the right answer for Rumple's probably attempt to flirt, so... Should I save? Yeah, let's save. That way we can always come back to this point. Yes. Awesome. Now let's attempt to flirt. I can feel Rumple smiling at my back. If this were anyone else but him, I would think it was some kind of okay. But considering this is the way Rumple acts all the time, maybe he's really trying to help me. Stop it! Oh, auto's on, that's why. I try to recall how I flirted with his customers before. I could not help but notice you were alone, sir. I'm always alone. My heart is thumping far too loudly in my chest. What kind of things does Rumple usually say? Madam, you are the most beautiful thief I have ever met, for it is you who has stolen my heart and stolen my gaze. Your eyes are more captivating than the stars, my sweet. If I could, I would stare into them forever and lose myself in their majesty. You remind me of a rose with thorns, but the thorns are what makes the rose so alluring. All he does is spout complimentary gibberish. I'll try to do the same thing. How is it that you would always be alone when you have such lovely eyes? The customer stares at me, baffled. I force myself to continue. Your eyes remind me of the leaves and fall as they flutter beneath the bright gaze of the sun, and... I stop. The words, nothing more than a shallow lie, make me feel strangely hollow. The man's just staring at me, but he looks uncomfortable. Still, I don't think he's anywhere near as uncomfortable as I am. Ma'am? Perhaps you would... My voice trails off. I bite my lips so hard I can taste something metallic. The man's expression is a mixture of awe and perplexity. I immediately turn away from him and walk off. My whole face is hot, and I can feel anger boiling deep down inside of me. Yay! I did a good! Though that was very, very bad. Princess! Leave me alone. But Princess, we're not done. I don't care. I ignore everyone's gazes as I make my way as quickly as I possibly can up the stairs into my room. There, I collapse on my bed and lay there with my arms outstretched. Why would I have ever even thought of taking Rumple's advice? Hours go by, and eventually I realize that it's time to help Anise with the night chores. Now I am helping her restock some of the bottles with Waltz and Karma brought back from town. I hope Anise doesn't mention what happened earlier today. I slip out of bed and head down to the main area of the tavern. The room is mostly quiet by the time I go downstairs. Parfait and Delora are talking to each other at a table. Carmen passes me by as I walk downstairs. He looks exhausted and oddly frustrated. I make my way over to Anise, who is already putting bottles on the shelves. Oh, Princess, are you okay now? I'm fine now. What did you need me to do? Anise explains how restocking works. She shows me the labels on the shelves and explains that the empty spots are where new bottles go. It's not a hard job, and one I can easily do without thinking too hard. For a while, the only sounds that can be heard in the margin are the bottles clinking against each other. Underneath that is the murmuring between Parfait and Delora. I have no idea what they're talking about, but they look serious, so it must be something important. Princess, can I ask what life was like at the palace? Right. She can't remember working in the palace before. I don't mean to pry. I was just trying to make conversation. I would rather not. Oh, okay. Eventually, Parfait and Delora stand from their seats and move to another room to continue their conversation. Anise breaks the silence again. The tavern's nice when it's quiet like this, isn't it? You can hear the sounds outside if you open a window. My hands move stiffly, placing bottles on shelves by label. All I want to do is get the work done and then return to my room. It was like this at the old palace that I used to work. I was hired by a rich family to be their maid. Their mansion was a beautiful place. You could hear the crickets if you were by the windows on the bottom floor. It seems like her memory has been twisted by my curse, so she can't remember working at the palace. All she remembers is working for a rich family. It was a nice place, Princess. There was a girl close to my age that had a radiant smile. Radiant smile? She must be talking about Emmeline. The head of the mansion's a really kind man, and... She grows suddenly quiet, a look of confusion coming on her face. She pauses and then shakes her head. I can't seem to remember everyone that was there, but I'm pretty sure they were all good people. At least, I'd like to think so. I was just a bad maid. She was. Because of her, Delora's dress was torn. I was too ashamed to tell one of the mistresses that I couldn't save her doll. Saber doll? Anais looks down, her smile wistful. I was fired on my first day because I couldn't save one of the mistress's dolls. I was the one cleaning her shelves that day, and when I went in, I saw a crow had come in through the open window and was pecking at one of the dolls. I shooed it away, but it was too late. The doll had a little rip in its dress, and I was fired for not doing my job properly. Well, shit. So it wasn't Anais who ripped Alora's dress, but a bird. Is this why Delora insisted Anais deserves an apology? What happened after you were fired? Lady Parfait found me on the streets. I couldn't go back to my aunt's house, not after what happened. She never liked me anyway. Anais's face clouds briefly with sorrow, but the expression is short-lived. I can never forget the day I met Lady Parfait. I told her I would be able to help her and anyone else that got sick. That I can even do all the cooking since I've been making meals for my father since I was a young girl. I begged her to take me in and she did. I owe Lady Parfait a lot. Why didn't you go back to your father after you were fired? My father passed away a while ago. My mother died giving birth to me. My father was an herbalist, and he taught me a lot while he was still with me. So before Rumple came in, I helped Lady Parfait with herbal remedies. So you have no one. That's what I thought. But now I have everyone here. The Marchant is my family now. Family. Princess, we're all happy to have you here too. You really help out around the Marchant, and I can tell Rumple's happy to have you as a partner. The memory of what happened today slowly seeps back into my mind. I can't help the irritation bubbling up inside me. I know he's a little overwhelming, but I'm pretty sure Rumple's really trying to help you, just like he's helping Lady Parfait. It's not the same thing at all. The two of us continue working until Anais makes another wistful comment. The place I worked before this, it felt like there was warmth in that gigantic home, but it was stifled. That place isn't warm at all. I speak the words without even meaning to. Anais looks up at me curiously. The king suddenly started speaking to me when Mother died, but it was never enough. Before that, he was cold and distant, and even now he favors his new wife and children over me. There were people, but they all wore fake smiles, and my father was the worst of all. I may as well have never existed to him. Princess, I'm sorry. For what? You're talking about the palace, right? The king always seemed so nice. He put his kingdom before his children. Anais fidgets nervously. I'm sorry. Apologies aren't going to change the past. Sometimes apologizing seems like all we can do when we can't change something that's already happened. I think about Anais, who tried to save my doll, and the way I fired her that day. Rumple told me once that all I had to do was listen to people to sympathize with them. Could that also be true for finding out the truth? All I can do is make up for what I did. All I can do to make up for what I did to her is... We're going to apologize! Of course! I'm sorry. Anais looks at me, clearly shocked. She stares for a few moments before I scowl at her. Staring is rude. Oh, I was just... Why are you apologizing to me, Princess? It's for something I did that you wouldn't remember. That I wouldn't remember? You should tell me. I promise I wouldn't hold it against you. It's not important. Anais's eyes are suddenly downcast, and no matter the attempt, her smile isn't as bright as it once was. I quickly finish stacking the bottles on the shelves. I'm done. Anais turns to look at me with an unusually tired expression on her face. Thank you for listening to me, Princess, and for telling me a little bit about yourself, too. I feel like I might have said too much. I don't respond to Anais, but instead choose to head out the front door. Anais asks where I'm going, but I just ignore her. I think about heading to town, but then reconsider. I decide to head to the forest instead. Oh, it is pretty. I make my way to the forest clearing. In the dark, everything feels a lot more comfortable. Here, I don't have to pretend to listen to anyone, and I don't have to talk about myself. I settle down on a rock and stare up at the sky. We did good! I apologized, but Anais did not even understand my apology. Even now, I still can't bring myself to trust those at the Marchen. I sigh and find myself speaking aloud. Maybe I am the Ice Princess. But have you seen the beautiful sculptures that can be made from Ice Princess? Hi, Rumple. Good to know that you're always conveniently around. I turn to see Rumple walking towards me, a broad grin on his face. Ice always sparkles in the sun. It glistens and stands so proudly where it's been sculpted. I stare at Rumple blankly. He sighs and shakes his head. I'm sorry, that one was particularly bad, wasn't it? He sits down beside me and his grin falters a little bit. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I like that picture. I have no white lilies to give you this time, my sweet princess, but I will offer anything else you would need for me to apologize for my advice earlier today. I can offer anything. My words, my body. Rumple, don't make this weird. I cut Rumple off as I am not in the mood for his usual behavior. You're always like this. All you ever do is flirt. Any meaningful thing you try to say is lost in the flattery you constantly give to people. It's shallow. You're right. What? I stare at him. Rumple's still smiling, but it's not the same confident grin he wore earlier. Somewhere deep in my memories, I remember someone telling me off just like this. Many people enjoy flattery, Princess, and a lot of people are receptive to flirting. But nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment. But I stand by what I said before, and that making a person happy is a good deed. Look, I'll show you. Rumple shifts so that he's looking right at me, and I notice that his smile is gone. Rhea, of all the women I've met, you are the most straightforward and honest. Many do not have the courage or the confidence to exhibit those qualities. And that's why I admire you, and why I will always take your words to heart, because I know you will always speak the truth. I look into Rumple's eyes, which still have a gentle shimmer despite the darkness. For a few moments, his words float around in my head. No one's ever called my bluntness honesty before, and no one's ever complimented me for it. Rumple told me before that I deserve to be spoiled. Maybe it's because he sees the things I do in a more positive light. My, you're struck speechless by that, aren't you? You look cute with your cheeks so rosy, my sweet princess. I glare at him, and Rumple just laughs in response. I put a hand in my cheek, suddenly self-conscious. Rumple smiles at me, but it's not that usual playful smile. Right now, he almost looks serious. Did he mean what he just said? Ask if he meant it or tell him off. I mean, telling him off is what's worked for us so far, so... Why did you have to be so dramatic when you gave me that compliment? I was dramatic? I cross my arms and Rumple grins at me. I can't help it, Princess. I'm dramatic by nature. A compliment is, in some ways, a performance. So you didn't mean what you said? Oh. No, I did. I swear I did. I was trying to show you how making a person happy could be a good deed. Complimenting a person on appearances is easier than complimenting them on their demeanor. You have to know a person for that. True. Okay, that was the right answer. I meant what I said, Princess. I swear that wasn't just me trying to weave spectacular words together. Earlier, I bet you made a nice happy too. You were spying on our conversation. I would never! I just happened to be making my way downtown, walking faster, and the stairs very slowly. You don't even know what I was apologizing for. No, but you thought you had to after you listened to her, didn't you? I listen far more than you do. Princess, you've shattered my heart so many times, there are permanent cracks. But do not worry. The cracks in my heart allow even more of you to make your way into it. God damn it, Rumple. Rumple awkwardly laughs when I remain silent. Anyway, there are different kinds of listening, Princess. Listening to sympathize is one kind. Trying to put yourself in someone's shoes, trying to understand them, that is one of those ways. Then there's the kind of listening that is shallow. One pretends to listen without ever letting the words into their heart. Words are fickle things. Mother always told me that people lie and that they would say whatever benefited them. It is foolish to trust words. What if Anais had been lying to me? Why would I put so much blind faith in people? Because more often than not, people are good, Princess. I let out an exasperated sigh. Sometimes I can't tell if I'm angry or confused by Rumple. What a beautiful sound. It was as if the sweet wind itself was gently tickling my ear. I slide away from him and scowl. Your scowl is adorable too, and you have such delicate lips. Right. I'm still convinced that his earlier compliment was just a lie. How can he say something genuine and then slide right back into this pitiful flattery? For a moment, silence falls, and I find myself surprised that it's not awkward, being alone with Rumple. Will you accept my apology for earlier? I promise I'll never try to get you to flirt with anyone ever again. Besides, if you flirted with another man and then grew fond of him, I would be devastated. That would never happen. You didn't let me finish. I was going to say that I would be devastated because that would mean that your heart belongs to someone else and my heart belongs to no one. I will steal it like a thief in the night. Like a shadow in the night. That will also never happen. If not that, then I'll settle with making you smile at least once, because I'm sure you would shine as brightly as the sun if you smiled. You're unreasonably persistent. Love is a persistent endeavor, Princess. A man in love stops at nothing to win over the woman that he so adores. Then you must be in love with many women. Ow. Well, I stand up. I would appreciate you just complimenting me when you mean it. But Princess, I mean every one of my compliments. I have no energy to chastise him right now, but at least I no longer have that anger inside from earlier. It's been a long day and I'm going to bed. Would you like company? Rumple. I didn't mean... Good night, Rumple. Good night, Princess Rhea. I make my way back to the tavern, feeling surprisingly light. Still, even if Rumple's words might make me happier than I care to admit, he's not doing a very good job of helping me with my curse. I might have to do this on my own after all. Woo! Well, there we go, guys. That was all of Chapter 4. That was a nice stretch right there. We're going to save this right here. Yeah. That was really nice. I think that this is a great way to get back into Cinderella phenomenon. Princess Rhea is learning how to handle Rumple better. We're getting along better. We helped Anais, we were helping Anais. We apologized. We're slowly becoming a much more sociable and nicer to be around person. So I'm gonna end this video here, and I'm gonna record a few more of this right now, but before I do that, once I end this, I'm gonna go grab a snack or something to eat because I didn't eat breakfast yet and my tummy's kind of grumbly. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you're looking forward to the rest of Cinderella phenomenon. because though it may take a while, I do want to get through all of this game and go down all of the routes, so yeah. I hope you're having a good day or night wherever you are, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!